buying a house and wanting to move on. And then when I saw it went up so much, I was like, is this how property works? I need to get my foot in the door a lot more and try to expedite this and grow. 14 properties in my portfolio, a mixture of conversions, HMOs, buy-to-lets, BRRR, service accommodation. It's a bit of everything. And majority of my portfolio is up north. I come from a typical Nigerian family. I'm the oldest girl. So naturally, you are the first mummy. A lot of people, when they want to get into property, they get into it with emotion, because they like the area or they like what it looks like, rather than crunching the numbers, buy more assets. Me and my husband are very big on investment as well.
Hi everybody, welcome back to our From Roots to Fruits episode. Today we're joined by someone who's going to teach us a little bit about investment, about property development as well. So I'm excited to learn a bit more because this is a subject that I really want to perfect and I know our audience really want to understand as well. So without further ado, hi Juliana.
Hello, Arlene, how are you?
Nice to meet you in
Thank you.
person. I've been stalking you online and I absolutely love the quality of your content on
Thank you.
Instagram.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Quality is one thing that I definitely want to make sure I maintain on my page. So I use an incredible videographer called Marv Brown. So that's how I get my quality top notch.
Nice. Mark Brown. Let's look him up.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind giving us a bit of a backstory, your
course.
journey into property development and investing. And I spotted that you also have a renovation business as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
if
do.
you can tell us a little bit about your journey.
I will do.
Yeah.
Okay, so great. So my journey, I think, started in 2014. So a little while ago. I didn't grow up with a lot of money, so I knew that I really wanted to get into property. So when it got to the stage where I had left uni, I was working. I knew that me working and renting was never going to work in terms of me getting a deposit. So I made the decision to go back home to live with my dad so I can save as much money as possible. So done that, stayed at my dad's for about 10 months and then saved up enough to buy a 2-bed flat in East London in 2014. That was my baby, my first step on the property ladder, and it was amazing to have something to call my own. So when we got that, at the end of 2014, then got engaged. And got married in 2015. So shortly after getting married, I got pregnant with twins. So we wanted to move quite quickly from our 2-bed flat to a house so we can raise the children in. So when we done that, we put the property that we were in up for sale. And thanks be to God, it went up 60k in the 18 months that I had it.
Wow.
So I wasn't thinking of becoming a property connoisseur or anything like that. I was just buying a house and wanting to move on. And then when I saw it went up so much, I was like, is this how property works? I need to get my foot in the door a lot more and try to expedite this and grow this. So that's literally how it started. It was all by accident. We wanted to move. It went up in value. And I thought, there's a gem in this. I need to continue doing it and multiplying it. So when we sold that property, we used the equity to get 2 new properties. One flat in Manchester and one in Greenhive, which isn't too far from Dartford. And then we just kept growing and growing and growing.
Wow. 2 years before that, you knuckled down and made a tough decision because quite a lot of people, I'm going to generalize here from the Black community,
Absolutely.
will not make those kind of tough decisions.
It wasn't
move
easy.
home.
It wasn't easy. I didn't want to do that. And bear in mind, at that point, my dad had remarried and had 3 new sons. So
Wow.
I'm moving into a house with people I don't actually know that well. But I always say small sacrifice for long-term gain, because I was there for 10 months, put my head down and made enough money to get a deposit. So I started from zero to buy the flat in East London.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good.
What a journey. That's amazing. So are you okay to share right now what your portfolio looks like?
Yeah, of course. So I've got 14 properties in my portfolio, a mixture of conversions, HMOs, buy-to-lets, BRRR, service accommodation. It's a bit of everything. And majority of my portfolio is up north. So I've got a few down in Kent, some in London, but the majority of it is in Yorkshire. I've got some in Liverpool. I've got some in Bradford and Sheffield as well. So yeah.
We're going to get into detail, but before we get there, I want to find out about like your maybe experience, your knowledge, because there are a lot of skills that you need to be able to have, like communication, being organized, and money management skills as well.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to ask about how you gained those. Have you always had them?
Okay, so I come from a typical Nigerian family. I'm the oldest girl. So naturally, you are the first mummy.
Yeah.
You are the one bathing everyone, looking after one, making sure money is okay in terms of what they need. So we didn't come up from a stable house, if I'm being honest. There was a lot of issues and we got evicted quite a few times. So from seeing the eviction and us not speaking about money, I was very financially illiterate. But I also knew that when I get money, I hold on to it and I make sure I make it work for me because I don't know when it's going to come again. So if I'm being honest, a lot of my success has been built from trauma of not having enough. So making sure when I can see there's money, I make it work for me. So I think that's kind of where it's built from being someone who's naturally been responsible because I'm the oldest girl, and then having young people looking up to me from such an early age. I kind of adopted that giving personality and having to be responsible from a young age. So I think that's kind of where it started from.
That's interesting. I'm the oldest girl as well.
Okay.
And you become the manager, right?
You
Especially
do.
from an African background.
Absolutely.
So that's interesting that you then took it and said, you know what? This is more of a superpower. This is my strength.
Absolutely.
And look at you now with your.
I'm not going to act like it's my strength. It's something that I kind of was thrown into. So it wasn't by choice. Something I had to learn on the job. So yeah.
I'm interested in that. We're going to get into the details. But I wanted to ask about any challenges that you faced when you started up.
Absolutely. Being a young black girl, trying to get into properties, when you go to views, they're looking at you like, who else is coming up behind you? Is it for you or for someone else? And I'm like, no, it's mine. Yeah, a lot of it was when you're in viewings and when you're speaking to estate agents. I always say to everyone, just be nice because you never know when you're going to need people. So when you're calling up estate agents to book a property and you have an attitude or you're not being nice, they can tell you the property is gone or something like that. But if you're just kind and you're nice, when you get there, it doesn't matter how you look like. If you have the money and the funds to get what you need, they have to respect you. And I'm not saying, oh, money is the only thing that commands respect, but your character and your personality goes ahead of you before you get to that stage. So I really want to hone in on just money is very important when it comes to property, but your character and your personality and how you manage things, it's important.
Because that's how you gain relationships and then
That's
work
it.
with people for
That's
a long
it.
time. Because I
100%.
heard that you need, the right vendors.
You
if you've got a
do.
builder that you trust, a plumber, and everything
Absolutely.
else.
When you get a property, it's not just the money and you that's needed. You need a broker, you need a solicitor, you need accountants, you need builders if you're going to start doing renovations. You need people whose eyes and ears will be there. Especially like I said, I live in Kent. A lot of my properties are up north. If you don't have eyes and ears there, stuff can be going wrong with your property and you're none the wiser because you don't have the relationship. Yeah. And even the landlord-tenant relationship is very important. We get our tenants. I manage a lot of my properties myself. So I meet the tenants, I do the viewings. We have a relationship where it's not just you're the distant landlord. It's like, no, I know you by name. It's not just the money thing, but I care about you and the family because I've created a home for you to live in. I want to care about people that's there as well. So that relationship and all of that it's important. Property is not just one dimensional.
So for people that are thinking, okay, I've got one property and I've got some equity that I can release and that can start going. How did you make the decision to look up north to find something that's affordable or the right property? Because you mentioned the different ones that you do have. How do you make the decision in terms of, okay, this is the one that I should invest in now?
Data is so important. I think with a lot of people, when they want to get into property, they get into it with emotion because they like the area or they like what it looks like rather than crunching the numbers. Property is a numbers game. If you're buying a property at an overinflated value, you're already missing out on so much money. I think people make money when you buy the property, not when you sell it. If you get it at a good price, you're likely to get capital appreciation, you'll get good rental and all the rest of it, but you have to use data. So where are the Barrett Homes, the Taylor Wimpey's, the Persimmons, where are they going? They already have done their due diligence, done their data, done their research to know if I put new builds here, we will get the demand. Follow the trend, follow where people are going, follow where they're doing regeneration projects, they're building new airports. Look at the old Stratford before they made it into Westfield.
Yes.
If you knew they were doing that and you had a house in Stratford, you're laughing. I came from Abbeywood today, like I was saying, before they put the Elizabeth line in. If you had a property around the area, you're laughing.
I can say that as well. I'm on the other end
Yeah.
in West Drayton,
Yeah.
and before the Elizabeth line, so my property went up because of the
You see what I'm saying?
Elizabeth line.
Data.
Hmm.
A lot of stuff is actually out there, but if you're not looking or you're not privy to it, you could miss a huge opportunity. So you have to keep your ear to the ground.
And I noticed that you also teach. You already said in terms of like your personality, you're the oldest girl child. I noticed that you've got some ebooks and some
Yeah.
courses as well.
So not really courses, so ebooks, webinars, and I do mentoring and consultation. So I don't have a one size fits all for everyone. If you come to me and tell me your objective, what your goal is, then I would harness and help you to get to that stage. I don't want to say my package is this and that's it, because everyone's needs are different. They're at different stages in the property journey. Someone might be a big beginner, some might be quite advanced. So I tailor it depending on what your specific goal is.
That's good, yes, because I've been thinking about this for 3 years now. I get overwhelmed by what
The amount of
direction to
information.
take. Yes, there's so much
There's a lot.
information. So mentorship is very important.
It is.
Yeah, and one of my questions is the difference between going at it alone or having a community. What did you do first of all, and then
So me and my husband, so Property by Jules isn't just me, it's me and my husband. It's just, he's not the face of it, it's me.
because you're the jewel.
Because I'm the jewel, exactly. That's it. So when we first started, it was just me and him using the money that we have, the money we saved, the money we got from our properties, the investments that we had done. Because I don't want to never say that property is the only pillar of wealth. There's so many. There's stocks, there's shares, there's crypto, there's whatever it might be, pensions too. We use different pillars of wealth to accumulate our money to put more money into property. So we started with by ourselves, using data, using research, buying where we could afford. We knew London wasn't something that we could afford, so we went on the outskirts like Kent and then started going further up north to make more, to get more house for our money. And then we got to a stage where we had about 7 buy-to-lets, and we knew we needed to do something more aggressive because the taxes that are coming in from the government, the way they're changing laws and stuff like that, we need to do something that makes more money. So that's when we got a mentor, and this mentor was really big in the property game. He had done loads of developments, turning hotels into properties, turning pubs into properties. And when we saw that he's got one head, so have I, he's got 2 eyes, so do I, they're no better than me. They've got the experience behind it. So that's why mentorship, it cuts out the time that I need for experience, because they've done it all. They can tell me how to avoid the mistakes and to make it work in my favor. So once we got this mentor, that's when we started doing the BRRRs, the HMOs, more aggressive strategies to make our money back quicker. And that's when it kind of skyrocketed. Yeah, and now we've also got a property in the UAE as well, because why not?
Interesting.
Yeah, so in Ras Al Khaimah we also have another property that will be finishing. So we bought it as a new development. It'll be finishing next year. So we also have that too.
That's so good because a lot of people are considering, because
Everyone's
keeps
going.
changing.
Everyone's going to UAE. Yeah.
Yes. So, did your mentor support you with that as well?
This was
Or
our
was it
decision. Again,
research?
data research. We saw that they were building the first casino in the UAE, because there's loads in America and
Yes,
Europe.
they are.
They're building a Wynn casino in Ras Al Khaimah, and Ras Al Khaimah isn't as well known as Dubai, and it's only an hour drive away. So with everything, if you get in early, you're going to reap the benefits and the fruits before everyone else does. So we saw they were building a casino about 2 years ago, and we saw they were building obviously properties around it. So we had to get in,
Yes.
and we did.
And you'll only appreciate because
Oh, absolutely.
there's a need for a new Vegas, actually. so-
Absolutely. We've actually done a valuation on the property before. Obviously, it's not been completed yet, and the property has really gone up 40%.
Wow.
And we haven't even got the keys, and it's not been completed yet, and it will only go up more before it does complete. So there's also like a black market where people buy property just before it completes. So if we choose not to complete, somebody will buy it off us and we'll get the money without even having the property
Yes.
ready. So there's just so many different strategies and loopholes and things you can do with property that if you don't get told, you won't know. And that's another reason why I'm really hot on doing my Property by Jules and trying to inspire and educate people, because I didn't see people like me growing up. So I want people to see that it is possible. I didn't come from money at all. And if I can, by God's grace, make something of myself, other people can too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I really like about your page and yourself is that it's coming from a place of you want to educate people,
do.
it's very much information. There's a lot of information rather than this is what we've done. We're making money.
I don't like
And
gatekeeping.
yeah, so
It's free
good.
it's free to tell you. If I tell you how to get a property, it won't stop me from continuing to get property. So why gatekeep? I think our community do that a lot. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's a what is that when there's crabs in a barrel type mentality, like let's bring each other. But it's great in terms of we're educating.
There's a lot more people doing it as well, which is so good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we are going to play a game.
Okay.
Which game would you like to play?
Connect 4, please.
Connect 4. Okay, cool. I'm gonna ask, are you competitive?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I think there's a trend here. Okay. Which color would you like? Red. Okay, so the rules of the game are we are going to play Connect 4 and you put your you need the dots 4 in a row. Okay, self-explanatory.
Yeah, I know it.
Please go ahead and start. Okay, I shall pause us there
Okay.
so that I can ask a question because that's meant to go well. So then you're not like zeroing in on your next round.
Okay.
It's all planned. you see.
Strategic.
Yes. So some of these questions have come from the community.
Okay.
Some I'm being selfish and they're my own questions. So the first one is, how much does someone need to start investing?
Okay. So there isn't a blanket answer because it depends on your objective and your goals. Are you looking for capital appreciation? Do you want good rental? It all isn't all an individual thing. But if I had to give a number, I would say probably about 30k. So if you get a property for about 100k, which you can easily do up in Yorkshire or even further up north, to do that, so I'm talking strictly buy to let, not residential. So with a buy to let, you need 25% deposit. So if you get a property for 100k, you need 25k deposit and then another 5k for the legals, the brokers and stamp duty. So I would say 30k if I had to give a number. But if you want to be in London, that's opposite. That's not going to happen.
That's great to know because I'm going to be open. Like our family are looking into as a family project.
Amazing.
To get some property just to help out with everyone's retirement.
That's so good to hear. You know what? So many people do this saving for a deposit by themselves. When there's more hands in the pie, it releases so much more pressure and everyone can be a part of an asset. Yeah. So that's so good to hear.
And then here it's now 5k, 5k, 5k.
This is it, rather than 30 each. Yeah.
Exactly. So
it's more manageable.
Yeah, that's great because I was thinking, right, we're going to need 100k to invest, but there is definitely manageable. Okay, brilliant. We'll carry on with the game. And I'll slow it down a little bit. Your go. And we can do play and question.
Okay.
Play and question.
Okay.
Next question is, what are the type of costs that people should think about when they start going along this journey? And I know it's different depending on the type of kind of investment that you're going to do.
So if you're going to be doing a buy-to-let, so not residential, stuff like the extra stamp duty you have to pay because you pay a surcharge if you're now an investor, move-in costs, insurance costs, because if you have a buy-to-let and there's someone living in a property, you have to get insurance. If you are now looking to do like HMOs, you need to get a HMO license. There's different regulatory things. Going back to the buy-to-let, you have to make sure compliance-wise it's safe. So you have to have an EICR, which is an electrical certificate, which is done every 5 years to make sure electrical appliances are safe to use. Wow. You have to have a gas safety certificate done every single year if the property has gas, if you have a buy-to-let as well. So that's some things that people don't really consider. And I think really important, void periods. When the property isn't tenanted, if you have a buy-to-let, you have to take into account you're still paying the mortgage, but you're not getting an income. And when the property is void, council tax still want their money. So that's you paying it, even if you have no tenant there. So things like that.
Interesting. So how much would you say, maybe a percentage to always have in the bank?
I would say when it comes to, for example, if you have renting a property, I would always say try and save like 10% of that back each month for maintenance and extra costs like the certifications that I mentioned, because something will always come up. Yeah,
because it's easy to think that I'm going to be making lots of money, so I'm always going to have money.
The minute the washing machine breaks, £500, please.
Yes.
So it's got to come from somewhere.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And an add-on question is, were there any costs that surprised you on your journey
Oh
where you were
my
like,
God.
what are you asking for here?
So we'd recently done a renovation project. So we bought a burnt down building. It literally had half a roof. It was decrepit, horrible. Like it was burnt to the ground. And we decided, because we're property experts, to
Yes.
change it into flats.
Okay.
The amount of things that came up, I was like, what are you asking me for?
Because how many, sorry to interrupt,
Go on.
how many flats were they?
So we made it into it was a 5-bed house, and we made it into 3 flats because it was 3 floors.
Yes.
So we made it into 3 separate flats. So communal entrance and 3 separate flats with its own kitchen, own bathroom, and all that stuff. So the things like that you don't think about, if you're now having 3 separate flats, you need 3 separate electrical and gas meters. So British Gas or whoever your supplier is will now come and have to dig trenches in the floor to supply the 3 separate flats. So you got to pay for excavations, you got to pay for permits so they can block off the road and do their digging and excavations. You got to pay for meters, you've got to pay for SAP assessments, you've got to pay for obviously the building works, and then the extra stuff that they always add on that you're just like, where did you get that from? You've got to pay for planning to come and do their visits. If you're having a bridging loan, you've got to pay every time that they come to assess the property. It's never ending. It's just stuff that I didn't factor into my costs because, again, I was still learning at that stage when it comes to development, and I'm happy I learned, so I know what mistakes to not make next time because I will do it again.
Ah, brilliant. I was
Yeah.
going to ask, would you do that
It
again?
scared me, but I will do it again. But I know what to go in with this time.
Yes. Yeah, because you have to think, I would have thought that if British Gas are doing this, it's included within.
No. It was like over £10,000 just for them. And then you got to separate the water bill as well. So all the utilities, you got to think about it, the water, electricity, the gas. And then when the property is done and you now need to tell the local council to change it into 3 different council tax, they're now charging you to change it into 3 different dwellings. I'm thinking, so if I'm on the bigger property, how much will it have cost? It's just like there's everything. You got to pay for architect costs, you got to pay for designer costs. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's good learning.
Yeah, I could see the passion in your face there. You're like, it's a lot, but I'm going to do it again.
I can keep saying more, but yeah, it's I will do it again.
Okay, that's
Giving
great.
people homes, like for me, that's what I like.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll carry on. I forgot
whose turn was it? Oh, I can go if you're not sure.
Wait. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's your go, I think.
It's actually not my go, but you can go.
I see the competitiveness coming out. Okay, what am I doing?
See, just let me win.
Right, my brain is back on now.
Cool.
Oh, do you want to have a go? Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. I'll remember that. Okay, so something that's been happening recently, not just this year, but over the past few years with the economy, things are going up and down. Interest rates have changed from. So you started in 2014.
2014.
And I think interest rates were okay, but then they were really good in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
But then now we're facing, I know it's not as bad as 2 years ago, but my question is, yeah, they are, right? Especially
compared to before.
Yeah. So have you had to change a few things maybe in the budget, or did that change your strategy at all?
It did change the strategy. So I know things like service accommodation are really hot on now. A lot of people are doing a lot of big things and wonderful things on social media for service accommodation. So I had a property in Sheffield that was a normal standard single let. I then changed it to service accommodation because I was thinking it's in a major city in a good location. Let's make it service accommodation and we can get more money. So we did, and we changed it, and then we ended up getting like double the amount that we would have got as single let, which was really, really good. And then just different taxes and different things coming in and the cleaning fees and stuff like that. It just didn't make, in the high season, it was great. But when it's a low season, it just didn't make sense. So then we ended up after about a year or so changing it back to single let. And then when it comes to like taxes and costs, HMOs, we were so hot on it. We've got 4 HMOs and each of them have 5 rooms each. That's 20 rooms. And then just the changes in laws, the things that they want you to do compliantly, it ended up being been a lot more than we had bargained for. And then when you have a property that isn't fully occupied, so we have 5 rooms, but there's no guarantee that all 5 rooms will be filled. So there we have one property that's got 5 rooms, 5 beds, another property literally down the road that's got 5 beds, 5 beds and 2 bathrooms. That one was never fully tenanted. I was thinking, you're literally 5 minutes down the road, was never fully tenanted. So then you're continuously paying the mortgage when you're not fully occupied. It just didn't make sense. So we changed our strategy and actually gave that property to social housing. So you get less money per month if you were to do it as a normal let, but we were never occupied anyway. So it made more sense to give it to social housing, let them pay us less than it would be in a normal tenancy, but we have a contract for 3 years, no voids. Even if there's no tenant in there, we're still getting paid. So I think the stability of having regular money in and not being shocked that the tenant gives their notice in this month, another tenant gives their notice in the month after, and you're left with one person in a 5-bed house. Let me get something that is more stable so I don't have to worry about hikes in taxes, hikes in interest rates. I've got my money set for at least 5 years. 3 years, I can plan. And when we first started our property portfolio, the government introduced obviously changes with taxes again if you buy in your personal name. So we were none the wiser. We bought our first property in our personal name and the 2 that I mentioned in Manchester and Greenhithe in our personal name. They then changed the laws that made it difficult and more expensive to buy in your personal name. So we had to sell those 2 properties and start again from scratch to get the properties in a limited company. So we had to open up a limited company, buy properties in that way and start from the ground up again, because when they make changes, you either have to pivot. I'll never get out of it. You have to pivot and change your strategy. I honestly believe it's quite cyclical, that they make these changes in laws and whatever, people run and get out of the property sector. But if you stay in it and hold, you will reap the benefits. And they come in peaks and troughs. There's some down parts, but there are high peaks within property. So I still think properties are a very good thing to get into.
And just like any investment, you have to be in it for the long game
And
to
that's
really.
social media makes it look like a get rich quick scheme, and it's really not. I've been in property now for 12 years. Only now am I doing it fully. This is my full job. I have no 9 to 5, and it took me 10 years to do that. So it's not get rich quick. It's a long haul. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Do you mind me asking what your 9 to 5 role was?
Oh, I've had so many jobs. Okay, so I've worked in procurement, I've worked in banking, I've worked in marketing. My degree was in biomedical sciences, but I've never touched it a day in my life.
Okay.
So I was the type to literally chase where the money is going. If I can see a new role that they're giving me more money for the same skills that I have, I would go there. I was not stuck to a role. I was definitely chasing the money because I knew the money had to work for me, so I need to make more.
Do you see how all those jobs, like the skills that you gained there, procurement, pretty much if you're working with loads of,
Absolutely.
contractors, and then banking, understanding
Yeah.
money and the economy and stuff like that, and then marketing,
Yeah.
your marketing, your business.
It's so funny how
now.
God places you in things and you get skills from it. And also, I actually opened up another business before I'd done the property full time. Me, my husband, sister-in-law, and a family friend, we actually opened up a nursery. So we had a nursery for 4 years in East London. And the reason that was because I got pregnant with twins, like I said before. And then for me to go back to work after maternity leave was my entire paycheck. So I was like, I can't do this. So I stayed home for 3 years. And in that time, we decided, let's open up our own nursery and get money from other people and put our kids in that nursery. So we've done that for 4 years. So it taught me patience. It taught me how to do payroll, because I was in charge of hiring staff. I was in charge of paying staff. I was in charge of the marketing for the nursery, and not realizing at the time that stuff is setting me up to do property, because I learned so much from there.
Yes.
It was very hard, but it was profitable, and yeah, I wouldn't take it back.
And talk about compliance and understanding what the
Ofsted,
law is.
children,
Yes.
safeguarding, that's another different ballpark. But yeah, I learned a lot. You just learn to adapt.
Yeah.
It teaches you adaptability.
That's so interesting. I'm just going to follow up on something that I can't let go. For service accommodation, what is service accommodation?
Like Airbnb. So short-term lets.
Yes.
Someone books it on Airbnb. They want to stay for 2 days. They stay. They leave. Someone else comes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
There might have been someone that's like, what?
Yeah, no, that's for it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's get back to the game. And, okay.
Baby girl.
No!
You were distracted.
This
It worked. My distractions worked.
Oh my gosh!
Thank God.
This is my tactic
This
to get
is my game. This is my game.
That's embarrassing.
Sorry, girl.
I'd like forgiveness from my family.
From your family. That's hilarious.
How do we move on?
Tonight, it's up to you. It's up to you. I'm okay.
I'm sure you're fine.
Mhm.
There's no humbleness either.
Girl.
Okay. Just gonna move on. Be a
Take a
professional.
moment.
This was your idea.
You did well. You did well.
No.
You were almost there. You were almost
I
there.
was like, oh, go back to like my strategy.
And then you would have got your 4.
Stop
It's
it.
okay.
Stop it.
Okay. I'll stop. Oh,
You know, I'm going to ask the hard hitting questions now.
I can handle it.
I think you can. Okay, so next question. In terms of the support that is out there for people, I've heard of the Airbnb kind of community as well, where people do it together. And I'd mentioned that, you know, my family, we're thinking about investing together. So is there something that you can advise for people to seek out? You've mentioned the mentor, but are there other, I'm using the word community, or other resources that people that can then use along the journey? Because there's a lot of mistakes that could be made,
A lot of mistakes,
money,
a lot of
that could be
information
lost.
out there. I'm a bit different because with mine, obviously, I owned my property and then I used it for Airbnb, so I can easily turn it back to single if I wanted to. A lot of people online and who are doing Airbnb do it via the rent-to-rent route. So the property isn't their own, and they tell the landlord that they'll use it for service accommodation or whatever to get more money, and then they do it that way. So there's 2 different avenues. So it really depends on what your avenue is. The rent-to-rent route is obviously a much lower barrier to entry. You don't own the property, you pay the landlord a fee, and you make sure you pay that money each month. So when it comes to that one, I don't really dabble in that because for me, again, not knocking the Airbnb's route at all, because I think it's great. There are people online who are doing amazing. I've done a live with Property by Bree, Sabrina, absolutely wiping the floor in property in Airbnb, and she's moved to Dubai. She's doing so amazing with her husband Yao, who've actually worked with on another project. But that's just not my baby. I'm more for ownership because I want the asset to be mine and then use it as I please. So if people want to do Airbnb on the rent route, I would say reach out to Sabrina, Property by Bree, and she will guide you. She's got a whole mentorship package, a whole service that would help you with that. If you're talking about service accommodation on the ownership route, then they can reach out to me and I can help on that front.
Yeah, that's really good to know, because I think there was a massive wave shortly after the pandemic where a lot of people started
absolutely
doing Airbnb.
It's a low barrier. All you have to do is, not all you have to do, there's obviously a lot more compliance to do, but you have to just get a property. And some landlords were just like, I don't have the time, don't have the money. I don't have the time and the ability to manage a property, just take it. And that's how a lot of people are making so much money within that. And I think it's a great strategy to build up your funds to be able to buy. I just don't want that to be the only thing that people do, because if a landlord says, I want it back now, your money is dried up.
Yes. Yeah, that's good to know. And you mentioned that Property by Bree. So they're now doing Dubai as well, right? Which is, again, you know, a route to exiting or just diversifying.
Absolutely.
Is there kind of areas in the world that you've thought of investing in?
Oh, I'm definitely going back home.
Yeah.
My husband, as I mentioned, is Ghanaian. Sorry, offline. My husband's Ghanaian, I'm Nigerian. So I think we probably will invest in Ghana first, see how that goes, and then just keep doing more. We don't need to be stuck to the UK. And the good thing is with the property that I've got in Ras Al Khaimah, once we pay off, I think it's 60% of the property value, we automatically get a golden visa. So if we wanted to move there, we can do that with our kids and start a new life in Ras Al Khaimah and take over the property world there. Yeah, it opens doors for different opportunities, because I think property shouldn't just be in one place. With me, like I said before, if I can have a property and I can give someone a home to live in, that's my job done. So if I can do it back home, all for it too.
Even better, right?
Exactly.
And you're doing it with a lot more care in terms of like the compliance side of things.
Absolutely. Not cutting corners.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you give other people jobs. You get you get electricians, you get builders, you're putting more money back into the community. So that's what I'm all about.
That's great. Do you mind me asking if you've got more children or you have the twins?
I've got, sorry, three. I always mention the twins. I've got three. So
Yeah.
twins who are 9 and Micah who is 2 years old.
Oh,
So I've got 3 children.
2 years old. Now, I know when people ask this to women online, they kind of apologize for it, but I am not going to apologize about the kind of juggling and about setting up a business as a woman and managing everything. The reason why I'm asking is because we want to empower other women that will be
Absolutely.
watching and thinking, how does she do it with twins and a 2-year-old?
Yeah.
So if you don't mind sharing about, and because maybe you did it with your husband, so then
Yeah.
it made it easy, I'm not sure, but can you share how you managed to build a business as a woman with children?
I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. And I'm sure you probably heard it said many times, it's not easy. It's a lot of late hours. It's a lot of sitting by the computer doing work when your child is next to you trying to play. You have to give up, unfortunately, something. If you're not playing with them, you're doing work. So it's not been hunky-dory unicorns and fairies. It's been hard work and hard graft where me and my husband have to juggle things together. He's very big on ideas and I'm very big on execution. So this whole Property by Jules page, it was his idea. I don't like talking. Let me not say that. I like talking now, but I'm a natural introvert. I don't like telling people my business, but he's just like, do it. This will be good for you. And I've seen the confidence it has built within that. So and again, the nursery, his idea, then I executed it in terms of the parent communication, doing the payroll, doing everything else within the nursery. So it's a team effort when it comes to me and my husband. I have a great mother-in-law who does help with the children a lot. And now I've put my son in nursery 3 times a week. So when he's in nursery, go. I have to get stuff done. That's what I'm driving up to Yorkshire to do my 7-hour round trips. I'm driving up to Birmingham to do other properties. I also manage other people's properties as well. So there's that also too. So it just takes a lot of juggling, a lot of late nights, community, which is my mother-in-law, around you to do it because I can't do it alone. I don't even want to act like I'm a super mum, a superpower because I need help.
Thank you for saying that because there's something in the UK I heard on the radio. I can't remember which channel it was, but they were talking about, I think, Molly May saying that she's got help. She's got a nanny and a lot of people were really angry about this. And
No, I disagree.
We come from, well, at least from my culture, I'm Zimbabwean, and we grew up with someone
You have
who
house
was
help. You have someone who goes to the market. You have someone who washes your clothes.
Exactly.
Why is it so different? Why should it be so different here? I have a cleaner, so she comes once every 2 weeks. Because if I can, the 4 hours she's in my house cleaning, I could be making money elsewhere. If I'm paying her whatever I pay her, 17, whatever, £18 an hour times 4. Even if it's not the money made, the time to do something else more productive, it's worth it. When people knock people who have nannies or au pairs or cleaners, why? If you're jealous, just say it, because this gives me the ability to make money and work for my family better. I always say the key word in everything I do is leverage. If you can leverage your time, your money, your knowledge, your resources, do it. You're only young once. You need to make the most of the time you have here.
Yeah, and let's not glorify struggling and let's be smart about our time. And you just
Absolutely.
mentioned the stuff that you have to do in a week, which even for myself, a business owner too, feels like, oh my God, each time I travel somewhere, that's like, all right, this is me for a month. I can't travel again, but you're doing it and also raising a family and running your businesses. So you have to be smart about where your time goes.
Absolutely. You do.
So where are we going in terms of the next 5,
Taking
10
over the
years?
world.
I love it.
I think definitely more bigger development, property conversions. I think I've done the buy-to-let, I've done the HMOs, I've done the small conversions, definitely bigger stuff now and it's more international. So doing proper apartments, not just 3, doing bigger numbers, properties in other countries, and just I think finessing my current portfolio to make it work. I think when you have something, you shouldn't always stick with it. If you can find a way to make it work, before, like I said, I changed single let into service accommodation. If I could find a way to make it work, changing more maybe into social housing, so my time is more free and it's more stable, then so be it.
In terms of like when you then do a bigger development project, would that be when I say solo, you and your husband, or will you partner with other organizations? I keep going back to thinking we need partnerships, but I don't know if that's necessary actually.
It is necessary. There's a lot of people online that do really good things that in terms of like getting investors money so they're not using their own money to buy more assets. Me and my husband are very big on investment as well. If there's people that have money sitting there that don't know what to do with it, we'll take it off you and use it. So absolutely, I'm all, and especially for me, to do bigger projects, you need more money, and we're very illiquid because a lot of our money is tied up in property. So if we can have someone that has more liquid cash to give us to do more, then absolutely.
Have you done that before?
Yeah, we have, definitely. We've bought properties with people as well, with investors as well. We've got three properties are with investors. So absolutely.
How do you find them, if you don't mind me asking?
So some of them, it's like family, friends of friends of friends, people that know we're in property and they're like, I've got this much money, help me with it. And then we do it.
What you could do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally. And that's the thing.
Trust.
Although social media is a very funny place, that's your CV. That's what people can say and look through what you have done and said and say, you've said you've done this, show me what you can do. So social media, it's a great place to be sometimes.
Sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good point. Before we move on from you working with your partner, your husband, because this is something that I really admire about people, especially when you see that it's working because you're growing, right?
Yeah.
Your portfolio and your family is growing as well. How is it working with your life partner?
It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to gloss over it. It's hard because when do the business conversations stop? Because you're so intertwined in business, there has to, especially as a woman, you want to also just feel like a person, not just a business partner. So it's coming to the agreement where conversations stop at 9, please, about the business. Let's just be normal, please, and watch a film. Because I'm sort of flaccid. So it's just getting the balance. And we're still kind of figuring it out, but we're getting the balance right of business partners and then husband and wife and then father and mother and then auntie and uncle and everything else that comes into it. So it's having real discussions, because if you don't communicate it, you will just literally feel like business partners, and that's not nice because you were something before the business came along. So it's making sure that you revive that.
And you will retire at some stage as well.
Exactly. And I have all the time in the world.
Yeah, exactly. But you want to make sure you still have things to...
Exactly. Yeah. But I do also believe in the working really hard now to make sure your latter days are better. So it's a juggling act, because you have to work hard, you have to grind. There'll be times where I won't see him because he's working so hard, because he's a medical doctor. He's working so hard doing his thing. And I feel like I'm doing my thing, and it's like I'm doing it alone, but there's an end goal.
Yes. And it's like to manage the two, right? So one person's on the ground, that's fine. The other's looking after something different and then juggling.
For this season. Yeah.
That's really good to know, because I've been having different conversations with people about the type of involvement or how open you will be with your partner, especially about money. The money conversation comes up.
Before marriage, it needs to be a conversation to be had.
Yeah. So I was recently asked like when you should be asking about that sort of thing. So I'm gonna pass on.
After the third day, after we've done the niceties. So what's your credit?
Brings out.
Yeah.
Like, tell me your experience.
This is it. Ours was like from actually the first conversation,
Really?
kind of like, what's your goal? What's your plan? I remember telling him when I was young, I want to have property. I just want to like help people get properties. And he made sure I followed that through, and we're here today.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the good communication,
absolutely,
it really helps.
Absolutely.
That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've mentioned already the type of support that you offer to people through the mentorship. Do you mind sharing specifically any programs that you've got available so people can come and look them up?
Absolutely. So people can find me on Property by Jules. That's JEWELS, and that's on Instagram and on TikTok. And also, I have recently done an amazing partnership with Checker Trade for Business, who are obviously a huge organization. Yes. And we've created a brand new website called Refurb Mate. When I've had loads of consultations and mentorships, the thing that people find really hard is estimating refurb costs for a property. So we've actually created a tool ourselves so people can actually plug in numbers and find out what the cost is. So Checker Trade have found us and partnered with us on that. So people can, if they want to get money off their trades, they can do so using my code Property by Jules to get 10% off their first 3 trades with Checker Trade for Business. If you just DM me, I can send you the link to find it. But also, as I mentioned, I've got mentorships, I've got consultations for anyone who needs help, and free webinars online as well, and also ebooks for property investing. So a bit of everything. But if you need anything bespoke, just send me a message on Instagram and I'll be happy to help, or on my email address, which is propertybyjules@gmail.com.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Are there any books that you could recommend for people?
Okay, so this one probably may not be what people would expect me to say, but I'm going to say the Bible.
Yeah.
Well, the Bible it's the best it's not just spiritual, best financial education that I have found and come across. It teaches you discipline, it teaches you delayed gratification, teaches you diversification and generational wealth. So for me, a lot of what I do is based on biblical principles. So for me, if you're asking me for a book to help people, the Bible.
Okay, thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that, because people want to learn a little bit more, and that is accessible anywhere.
It's accessible anyway, and that's for me. And if you want another book, then Rich Dad Poor Dad.
If you must, after you
If
finish
you've-
reading the Bible.
Yeah, after you've done that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to add for our audience?
Just thank you for having me. It's been nice having a conversation and just sharing my journey and meeting you and just letting people know that property should not be a pipe dream. It should definitely be a reality in their plans.
Yeah, you definitely have empowered myself.
Oh,
and
amazing.
I was writing notes whilst we were talking.
Oh,
so
that's
there's
good to
definitely
know.
some homework that I'll go away
Okay.
and do.
Cool.
Keep doing what you're doing. I
you.
can feel the passion and I
you.
can see the vision as well in terms of where you're going. But thank you for sharing your
Thank you
knowledge
for having me.
and beating me on Connect.
Winner.
That is all for us today, guys. Join us next week for some more seeds to sow. And please remember to support us by following and leave a rating on our show on whichever platform you're listening to us from. To those watching on YouTube, please leave a like and a subscribe to our channel. All of your support goes a long way. Thank you so much for joining us today. And remember, keep shining.